It's your boy Big Steve, also known as Trophy, right here on Hustles, man. This is where you come to if you want to know how it's getting done. We bring you all the CEOs, all the heads that's in charge right here where we started and where we gonna finish it at. Shout out to my man DeAndre Fulton, always behind the camera, but always in action. Let me tell you, man. But today we got my man right here, Teddy, man. The CEO of TPJ, not just global, but also more things, man. Let them know exactly who you are and what you do.
Appreciate you, Steve.
No doubt.
Yeah, I'm Teddy with TPJ Services. We have TPJ Global, which is an instruction camp where we do crisis courses, and we also have TPJ Services where we do event staffing and close protection, anything you need on that end.
Cool. So, man, tell me this, man. Because if y'all don't know, when y'all go to these events, when you go to all these places and you see these celebrities and all that, man, most of the time, especially in VA and all the surrounding areas, it's this guy. He can name your names, but I'm talking about when I went through his catalog, man, you name it, he didn't secure them, literally. You get what I'm saying? So what made you start TPJ?
Honestly, man, it was... simply started, quote unquote, as a hustle.
I know that's right.
Man, I had got us in trouble, with the law and just trying to right my wrongs, serve my time and all that stuff. And, going through application process and nobody would hire me.
Oh, man.
I think I went through like maybe 7 or 8 years or more, applications and, back then, background checks, you had to, mail them off. So I would get the jobs, and hire, be on the job for like 2 or 3 weeks until that background check came back.
Man.
And then I get pulled into the office on that thanks but no thanks kind of, conversation. So, after a few years of that, man, couldn't feed my family right. I just went out there and just tried to do something, that I love to do, which is simply helping people. I came from a inner city neighborhood and I saw a lot of violence and a whole bunch of stuff that, that just didn't sit right with me. So, I wanted to help. I wanted to be that person to be like, listen, and that ain't the way. You know what I'm saying? Because again, I didn't seen people die. I didn't watch shootings. I didn't seen stabbings and all this other stuff. So, like I said, I want to prevent it. So anytime that there was any type of situation or verbal type of disagreement, I would just try to step in the middle of it. The business happened because other people would see me. They was like, well, you're doing such a good job here. Can you come work for me? And I'm like, nah, this person gave me an opportunity when nobody did. I want to honor them. I want to be loyal to them.
Yeah.
And the offers just kept coming. And I, talked to the person. I'm like, hey, well, listen, this is what's going on. They're asking me to come work. They're giving me bigger pays and all that other stuff. And I said, do you mind? So they were just like, no, go, go
spread your wings. That's right.
So I pretty much stopped working that particular thing and would go work somewhere else. Well, it just kept repeating itself. And then a light bulb went off. Why give up, the things that you're doing? Why not just still manage them?
Yeah.
So that's what I started doing. I just started managing. I would leave one site, still manage it because the client still wanted a representation or replica of what I was doing.
Yeah.
So that's what I would do. I would share with my now team members what the expectations were, what they wanted, what they loved in me. So I need you in your own way to provide the same service. And that's how the quote unquote business happened. I never went into it to start a business. I was really, again, just trying to hustle.
That's it. Hey, that's how it goes,
man. Trying to make a dollar, man. And
like most of the time, not to cut you off, but most of the time when we see you, man, you definitely do a good job of making sure that the whole perimeter is secure, because you be on your P's and Q's, like, you know what I'm saying? Even when I'm a fly by night type dude, when I come through on the scene, I'm just shaking hands and rolling through, but you be on point, you get what I'm saying? So when you started this business, what was the things, like the obstacles you had to overcome to really turn it into a business?
the biggest thing was getting registered or certified. You know, because you see, a lot of people out here doing what we call security, but there's different levels of it, So once I went to turn it into, a business, the hardest thing was paperwork, really. Starting with, again, me getting my certifications and all of that stuff. I had to clear, get my criminal record cleared and all that stuff. Then with these businesses, here come forms, W-9s and all this other stuff. So it's like, so like, here you go. And I'm like, oh, what am I supposed to do with this? You know what I mean?
So what's one of the lessons you learned from having this business and dealing with the people in the security business and the global business, the entertainment side and with the nightlife side?
What I've learned is, any and everything is possible, when you believe.
For sure.
Without a test, you don't have a testimony. That was one of the biggest things. I'm a church kid, man. I grew up in, church and,
Me too,
being
man.
a believer. So, I've always heard the word, and heard it, and because my mom was like, we're going to church. Then I found things that I love to do in the church, but having to apply what you have heard or what you have, been hearing, was, one of the biggest things, man. So, just applying and using my faith, man. And now, anything is possible.
For sure, man. So I know we had to go through COVID and did all that. What are some of the changes that you've seen in the security industry?
Man, the more you get into it, you realize the different levels of, security, protection, and all that stuff from, again, like I said, nightlife is where I started from, retail to jewelry to, crossing over to, just simply transportation services, people just wanting to be escorted from one place to another. Yeah, it's different variations, man.
Yeah, I see. Okay, so in security, man, people gotta trust you, right? So what is like to have someone that you don't know from nowhere? How do you get them to trust you with their life or their product or whatever? Like, how do you introduce yourself to let them know that, look, I'm about business, I got this? Like, how do you go about that? Like, how do they always wonder how that go?
I just provide the service that I would want. My MO is to be a repeat customer. So for that, I'm gonna do everything. The process has never changed from me being thankful for that first opportunity. Probably 95% of the work that I've ever received has been off of referrals.
That's good, man. That lets you know about your business.
Absolutely, man. And I pride myself on that. Even when I'm hiring people, I give people opportunities. I've lost, contracts, giving people opportunities. But
so how you go about that though? How do you go about your hiring process?
I'm huge on second chances because a guy like myself, was provided, a second chance.
Sure.
So I give, and it also depends on the type of service, if it's a nightlife or if it's a upper type class event or whatever, it just depends on what the event is and how I go about the hiring process. But I mean, from military to corrections to formal type of law enforcement, all the way down to a little homie who's trying to get started.
That's good, man. So what's your advice for any entrepreneurs? Because this is the show that we reach out to entrepreneurs. We let people know how it is to start a business and what you got to do. And we roll off the term hustle beats talent when talent don't hustle. You get what I mean?
Absolutely.
So what would be your advice you would give to any up and coming entrepreneurs?
Number one, never give up. Never give up. And two, don't get stagnant. You can't get stagnant. You can't get comfortable. again, like I've talked a lot about security, but on the TPJ global side, I now have taken the life lessons that I have learned, and now I'm also an instructor. I'm an NRA instructor, to where I train with crisis events, or with I'm FEMA certified, I'm DCJS certified, so I'm Narcan medical certified. So it started still talking about the advice and not being stagnant.
Yeah.
I like I said, started here just trying to get an opportunity. Now I have built on top of it. Like I said, now I'm an instructor. So now not only am I doing the events, which I pretty much just kind of pass to my team. Now I get them and lock them in, and I just get my team to work them. But I'm an instructor, and now I do close protection, like you stated earlier, with the A-listers and other good stuff, because a lot of times they don't need just some big bulky guy. I mean, even years before, man, I have photos to where I was huge, bulky, and but getting to know it and not being comfortable, I got to realize, man, like everybody don't need all that bulky.
Man,
everybody don't need all this,
man. Cause somebody moving around. Cause I remember. Man, you know how back in the day, that was the first thing they go get, like a big 6'8" dude that's about 600 pounds. You like, man, this guy couldn't catch a cold.
Don't even have the stamina to do everything he need to do. So, with flexibility and cardio and all this stuff, I've done everything from small teen events to Super Bowls.
Yeah, that's
and I've been blessed, and I'm seeing that vague difference, man. Is a whole catalog of stuff that you can do. So my advice is to never give up. Continue to believe in yourself, and don't get stagnant and comfortable to what you're doing.
Man. Congratulations on all your success, man.
Appreciate it.
And I can see where this can actually help for even other entrepreneurs, especially people that's in the retail business, like myself. Because when we had a store in Portsmouth, never have I ever had to get security for a furniture store. You get what I'm saying? But when you said that you teach people crisis situations, I believe that every business should definitely be hiring you to come in and show the staff a crisis situation. And so everybody be prepared. You get what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because God forbid, but thank you God, we never got robbed or nothing like that. But if we was to, everybody would know what to do, where to go, what gun to grab, how to go get it, where to stand. Like, you get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And that's something that you bring to the table that I know for a fact a lot of retail business could definitely use.
Yeah.
For sure, man. Like, I know a lot of us got parents out here, or a wife out here, or a child that just became grown and got their own place. How do you get them comfortable with a firearm and being able to protect themselves?
The first thing I do is, have a classroom setting. Before we even touch any firearms, I need you certain understandings that I need you to have first. Certain rules, regulations, policies, and procedures that you must have before even touching the gun. Because if you're going to touch that firearm, I need you to know what the right steps are.
Sure.
And if you have to discharge that firearm, I need you to know what to do after that. So it starts with the classroom setting, and most of the times I teach that basic course with my concealed carry permit. I have that course, and once you have that course, then it's just a build from there.
Oh no, that's good, man. Cause then that understands, like you said, it build up from there. Because I'm telling you, man, I know so many people that's older that's out here. They watch the news all day long, right? So they scared to come outside. They think they either gonna get robbed or catch COVID. You get what I mean?
Absolutely.
So to have somebody like yourself to be able to teach them how to protect themselves, people can come back outside again and feel comfortable. You get what I mean? And that's a big thing, man. What do you see for the future of TPJ?
And the sky's the limit.
Sure.
The hustle don't change, man. It just depends on which side you're on. I always had a drive. The side that I'm on now is, again, like I said, I started this because I simply wanted to help people. That help turned into safety. So the hustle will always be safety for me. Now, how can I build and expound on different levels of safety, because you might not need the same safety that this person might need, and vice versa. So you have to, corner the market, and then when you corner that market, you got to level up, man.
For sure, man.
And yeah, a lot of people, some of the stuff is already rolled out, but sometimes, one or two things, if the big homie, you trying to reach out to the big homie, sometimes the big homie don't want to show love, so you can get held that way, or you yourself, like I said, just get comfortable and stagnant. But yeah, man, the hustle never changed for me. So again, mine is safety, and I'm going to continue to build and, be safety all around.
So what is one of the biggest obstacles when teaching security? Like, do you make your guys get in shape, or do they be in shape already? Or do you, y'all had certain days y'all hit the gym together? Like, how did that go?
Yeah, again, it depends on the type of clientele it is. If you need the big, bulky guys and all that good stuff, most times, if I was to do that, then I go to the gym all the time. So it would be a combination of, some guys that's already in the gym, or some well-disciplined guys who's already in the military or corrections. For sure. I've been on both sides of corrections. I was actually a correction officer. Whew. I ain't last long, man. I tried it, man, and them gigs just kept clinking out of me. I can't do it, man. I tried it, but it was good for a resume.
Yeah, no doubt.
So you would go get guys, there's that, man. So it just depends on, what the clients need for the recruiting.
Hustle beats talent when talent don't hustle, man. And you got both, man. You got a lot of talent and a lot of hustle. Which one would you say is the most important?
The hustle, man, the drive, because the drive, it don't ever stop, man. It doesn't have to be a physical drive, Social media now, is huge, man. So you could be home.
Yeah, no, that's right.
And honestly, man, that's one of the biggest things that I need to better myself is in the social media department. However, I'm still blessed, to still get calls and sometimes just to be in certain situations. There was a situation this weekend that I was just simply, just there, just to be there, and being in the right place afforded me an opportunity.
For sure.
So sometimes, you have to just, you got that drive, man, or you gonna find what's wrong.
Yeah.
If you're a carpenter, you see something wrong with this carpet, and you're gonna go fix it, because that's the drive in you.
For sure. Now, I know it's a long list of things that you do. Tell the people exactly what you do, and so they'll know how to get it, when they get in contact with you, why they get in contact with you.
All right. We do, again, your basic standard event staffing, security, nightlife events, retail, transportation, close protection. We also do, on the medical side, we do CPR. We do first aid, which is CPR and first aid are the same with children, infant, and adults. We also do stop the bleed. Stop the bleed is a slightly higher category than first aid, because I believe if you're going to be carrying a firearm and you put a hole in somebody, then you need to know how to seal it up. Even if you don't put a hole, if you're going to do close protection, you should know how to, have the first aid capacity to manage all that stuff. On the instructor end, we do concealed carry permits. We also do a basic handgun. We do long guns, which are shotguns and rifles. We also do right restorations. So if you are a felon and you need your rights restored, we assist in that capacity as well.
For sure, man. That's what's up, man. So when you say rights restored, I'm guessing, like, because we previously talked and all that, but give them a little bit of how you did this, like, every step that you went through getting your life to be the man that you are today. You learned that, then taught it to others, and that became your hustle, right?
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
So I love the show. This you think this show was pretty much custom, for me, because that's exactly what it is, man. Everything that I went through, personally, I learned the process and I taught others, and again, just turned it into a hustle. My first charge as a youth was concealed permit.
Oh man.
Was concealed carry. And the way it happened was I'm coming home from, one of the little corner markets where I used to work, and inner city kid, police just pull you over. And my job at this corner market was, the stocker, whatever they would call it. But, taking boxes, cutting them open, and, putting items on the shelf. Well, I had my box cutter with me, and long story short, I'm heading home. Police pulls me over. I'm walking. Where you going? Where you headed? I'm just leaving work. Make it shorter. Put my hands on the car. Do you have anything? No, I don't. They find this box cutter in my pocket. So when he writes up his report, the report says conceal carry / sharp object. Conceal carry. The charge is concealed weapon / sharp object.
Oh man.
Now, if you was to hear that, and if you were a judge or jury, what do you think I have?
A knife.
A knife, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's what he was doing, leading people to believe that I had a knife. Thankfully, I had people in my corner who knew the law, and a box cutter is a tool. It's not a weapon, so that taught me early on that verbiage is very, very important. So I end up, not being affected by that charge because I had people, in my corner, who knew the verbiage to get me out. So that case was dismissed.
That's a blessing, man.
Yeah, man. But it taught me a lesson at that early age.
Yes,
that
sir.
You gotta watch, because people can take words, man, and hem you up. So that was one of the first things. So yeah, once I was able to get all these certifications, man, got my rights restored and did all that, I learned it myself, man, and became the middleman between the person and the lawyers. The lawyers are gonna hit you up with like $5,000
At least.
easy.
Ain't lying.
You want your stuff, so you're gonna pay it.
Exactly.
Me, I'm not gonna do that, man. I just want to continue to help and facilitate as much as I can. So yeah, we do right restorations as well.
Yeah, make sure you hit them up on the website and all that, man. We appreciate you for coming through on Hustles, man.
Thank you,
Look, keep hustling, man. For sure, man. Hit them up. You need security or whatever, man. Hustles. Anything that you're trying to capture the moment. I'm talking about mitzvahs, birthday parties, receptions. Hit up DeAndre Fulton and don't take it light, because we out here heavy. Winner Circle, Hustles. Keep staying tuned in. We appreciate y'all.